Hey guys, welcome to Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love from Lincoln, Nebraska. Mwah.
I love you, Jeffrey Pearl.
Thank you. I love you too. Hey, so you might not recognize us from last night because I don't know if you know this or not, but 60 billion cells in your body actually change over every day.
Talk about being a new person. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You got all kinds of opportunity to change. So a lot of this change that we're talking about is obviously psychological, but physically your body is changing, and that makes a lot of sense with everything we're talking about with reality transurfing and all of that. You actually, if you select a life, all those paths we have out in front of us, you select a life out there. It's not only where you're going to live, it's what you're going to look like and who you're going to be with, and a lot of times there is a physical change.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, it would be impossible if there wasn't, because as you said, 60 billion cells turn over. I can't remember the actual number of days before all of your skin cells turn over, but it was, I want to say.
I think it was 6 months.
Oh no, I thought it was like a week or something for your skin. Maybe it was 6 months. We'll get back to you on exactly what that was, but your entire skin turns over.
Right.
That's insane.
Right.
Right? So of course, every day you wake up and you literally are a new person.
I know it was 10% of your bones turn over in a year. So basically in 10 years, your whole skeletal infrastructure is different. But everything's different. Things like your liver and things swap out much more quickly.
Right, and they said even your heart regenerates and your blood cells regenerate. It's amazing. Yeah. And with all that, you are what you eat, right?
Well, yeah, you got these this process. We're like a factory churning over all these cells, and what you take in. Not only what you eat, but also all of your mental stimulus around the environment. But to your point, so it is what you eat, right? So I mean, obviously, if you're rebuilding your body every single day at the cellular level, it's really important what you put into it.
Absolutely. We were listening to Aaron Daugherty on the drive between Copper Mountain and Lincoln, Nebraska, where we are right now. If you aren't familiar with Aaron Daugherty, check him out. We really like him.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and
he was just out in Costa Rica too, not with us, but he was out there about the same time. So it was interesting.
Yeah, I like his stuff. So subscribe to him as well, and make sure you subscribe right here. Anyway, he was talking about how, and this was interesting because I had not really thought about this aspect of it. But he was saying, when you're eating out, the person preparing your food, whether they're putting love into it or whether they're putting hate into it, that energy can affect you. And I thought that was really interesting. We do prefer to always cook in when we can because we love to cook, and we love to shop for organic whole foods. It's really fun, but at the same point in time, you have to live life, right?
Yeah.
But what I found interesting, that was a thought-provoking comment. Because I have always been drawn to Ellen DeGeneres's discussion around the fact that so many of these animals, these factory farmed animals, are treated so abhorrently that and the way that they're slaughtered is just so terrible that when you eat those animals, that hatred, that angst, that fright, that fear is the worst thing in the planet. That fear goes into your body, right?
Well, we're all just energy. There's all kinds of scientific studies as we dig into this stuff. All kinds of scientific studies about they're running energy through cells in a petri dish and how they can change it. So the energy of the vibrations of everything from what you put into your body to your environment actually impact the physical growth of those cells. So you're absolutely right.
Right. That's a fascinating, Jeffrey. Just repeat that again. They took petri dishes and they gave different vibrational energies to petri dishes, and it changed the cells dramatically from each other depending on the energy that they gave them. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. I've seen, music and water when they freeze water molecules and how it changes the whole the structure of the way it looks under a microscope.
Right.
It's really just amazing. I read something the other day that people that actually drink water, and because they're holding it, they're putting their vibrational energy into it.
Right.
So the water that you're holding and drinking, the water that I'm holding and drinking is different.
Right.
And if you spilled the drops out and we looked at them side by side, they would be different. And then if we did it again, did another drop, it'd be the same way. So they do this with a bunch of people. So there's a lot going on here with vibration that, I don't think we fully understand yet. We're learning all this. But, I guess what was impactful for us, you jumped right to Ellen's comments. I know you've told me that before. Makes sense, I guess. But we're driving through Nebraska, and as in Aaron's video is talking about a chef cooking, and maybe he's going through divorce and he's got this negative energy in your food, and then you eat it. Mm-hmm. It all makes sense to me, I guess. But I'm looking at out my left-hand side of the car, and there's a farm, a dairy farm with cows just piled in there, and they're all on top of feces. I mean, it's really kind of disgusting. There's not a blade of grass to be seen.
Nothing green.
Anywhere.
Nowhere.
And this is big chunks.
And tragic
Yeah,
all at once.
Yeah.
No one deserves to live that way. And how can that not affect their energy, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking as he was saying this about the energy going to the food. I'm like, somebody's drinking that milk or the cheese that comes from those cows, or we aren't because we're plant-based, but I mean, somebody is. So at the end of the day, you wonder, is that a problem, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that if you are filling your body with organically grown, fresh, whole foods full of nutrients and antioxidants, as opposed to filling your body with an animal that, lived in deplorable conditions and was treated inhumanely and, went to end of life inhumanely, and now that energy is being consumed by you. Right. And the interesting thing is that animal products stay in your body so much longer too. So even though cells are turning over, and they say the stomach lining, I can't remember, it was like 4 days or something miraculous like that. But these products stay in your system longer. This energy is within you, and I believe that. And it's the beauty of life is everything is a choice. So we can all choose to believe what we want. But I had not heard what Aaron said, that the energy of someone cooking. But I know when I cook, I am so excited. I love to cook. So I'm always putting a lot of love into my cooking, and sometimes I even throw some kisses in there, maybe a little splash of wine too. But I'm always adding some love, and you can tell when you're having a meal.
Great. That's great. Well, we just had some. You brought some on the road here, so we could eat healthy because we're just dropping into a hotel at night. We're gonna hit the hay and leave early in the morning. So it was great that you did that.
Right. Well, even the energy when you're in a restaurant, sometimes the vibrational energy is amazing, and you just are having the best time, and everything about it feels great. Right. And sometimes it just doesn't. And that could be from the chef, that could be from the server, that could be from the hostess, that could be from the company that you're sitting with. Right. It could be from yourself. So I think every experience is dictated severely by the energy. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and so when you talk about energy, I mean, we're talking a lot about food here, but you eat a very small fraction of your day. So that was an interesting comment about the food. But you got to think about everything in your environment, the people you hang out with, the job that you go to every day, how you feel about just things in general, how it's happening out there. When you see something, what's your reaction to it? All of that creates energy and vibration. We talk a lot about that, and how what you put out to the universe comes back to you, and that's a whole nother thing. So when we're out there interacting with a lot of people on the road, and if you go up with a big smile on your face and treat them as if they were your friend, they're going to treat you the same way. It's going to come back to you. Absolutely. Right. And the work environment is a big part of a lot of people's lives, whether you're like us and you're working, where you want, when you want. We love what we do, so we work a lot. But when I was younger and you were younger and we went into a more structured type of job, when I got pregnant with our first daughter, I was working in a very toxic environment. And it got to the point where, I was feeling it physically, aside from emotionally, but physically.
Right.
And at that point, it wasn't just me. I was pregnant. And I remember you said, you need to just quit that job.
Right.
And I was so grateful that you supported me and really, guided me to do that. And I did. And oh my gosh, I mean, it was a huge change in everything about the rest of that pregnancy.
Well, I mean, I'd like to say we kind of intuitively knew that stuff back then, but it was. I remember
Yeah.
specifically what you're talking about. You came
Yeah.
home one night, you were upset, and you were pregnant, and I saw my pregnant wife upset, and I said, "You're quitting that job tomorrow." I remember that now. I like to think we knew about vibration. Maybe it was just something that I think a lot of this stuff is innate.
Well, we definitely knew that was a toxic environment.
Yeah.
I mean, that was obviously not the first time I'd come home in that state, but it became even more toxic. I think once they found out that we were expecting. So, you did intuitively know it then that you can't be in that environment. It's just
Right.
not healthy.
Right.
Physically, emotionally,
Right.
spiritually, any which way.
Right. So you just have to really think about this. I mean, hopefully this is making sense. It's pretty deep when you think about that. All those cells are changing over in your body every single day. All of these cells are affected by
60
energy.
billion.
60
right?
billion, yeah.
60
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of cells, and it's changing through every day. And as those cells are growing, building, evolving, whatever the word is, the energy affects them. So you have to think about your mindset and the way you look at the world. How you interact with your spouse, with your friends, with your people at work, just people on the street. You have a choice to make it a real positive interaction, make it a real positive environment for those cells to grow up, or make it real negative. I think there's been a lot of studies done as well that people that live in these real negative environments actually impacts them, and you can actually make yourself sick. And
Right.
Now we know why. I mean, if you've got these new cells starting up every day, and you're going to be really negative, you're going to be in a real negative environment. There's a lot of stress. I mean, things get malformed, right?
Right. And they've done so many studies on people that hang around other people that are toxic. That toxic energy, toxic vibrations, it's almost inevitable in the studies that they did, that if that is your environment, if those are the people that you're with, that is going to become your energy as well. Whereas on the flip side, if you're with somebody that's really positive energy, and I will say that was one of the things that really attracted me to you when we first started dating.
What was it?
That you had this amazing positive outlook on everything. And
I thought you was going to say something else, but
I have no idea what he thought I was going to say.
Right.
His humor, but no, it was your positive energy. And as I got to know you better, I know you didn't. I learned that you didn't, have a silver spoon. You didn't have it very easy. You were the first person in your family to go to college, and you made it all happen on your own. But you have always had such a positive outlook on everything, and you always speak so nicely of other people.
Well, no, thank you. I mean, you have too. I mean, you've built a great environment for myself and the girls in the home.
Well, thank you. I just want to admit and acknowledge that I was not always like that. I can remember days back in when I was a kid in high school, and I don't think I was that nice all the time then, and I think I feel bad about that I didn't know any better. I was.
Well, you can't feel bad about the past.
No, I was ignorant.
Yeah.
But I think that the beautiful thing about life is that we have opportunities to learn and grow and change. And I loved high school. So any of you high school friends out there hearing this, I'm sure you're going to say, "Oh, she was a nice girl." But I feel that I am so much more passionate about everyone that I meet now than I was when I was younger. I mean, when we're younger, the world revolves around us a little bit too much.
Yeah, so I think, we are changing every day, as we've discussed here. Your cells are changing every day. You're physically changing. Yeah. But, you're going through this metamorphosis, this awakening that we're all going through. So it's just really important. And we talk a lot about starting the day with meditation, too. I think that also just helps set the clock correctly. If you can kind of, start off with that. And some people are good just sitting there, watching their breath and being in the moment and just, getting all zen. I mean, others like guided meditation. We do a lot of guided meditations that are kind of great. It kind of feathers in some positivity into the meditation.
I love guided meditations.
Yeah.
There's always a message, or they'll quote somebody, something that will stick with me throughout the day, and I'll think about it. And it's always something very uplifting. And, meditation is just, oh my gosh, if you are not meditating, start. Literally start. Finish this video and go to Insight Timer. It's a free app. Download it, and there are tons of meditations. You can choose by the topic, whether you want it to be gratitude or love or letting go or your breath. You can also choose by the length of it. And I always tell people, start with a shorter meditation. Peace Beam is a great series because they're 5 minutes, and each one has such a great message within 5 minutes. Sadhguru is hilarious. I love him, and he always has a very fun spin on really deep messages.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
One of our favorites.
Well, it's great. If you can start with some meditation to kind of set your groundwork. I mean, we usually also start with some positive information. We watch these YouTube videos, and what's great about things like YouTube and all of the AI out there. The
artificial intelligence.
Thank you. Artificial intelligence. It knows what you're looking for. So, I was trying to explain this to somebody. Actually, my dad driving out here. That with all of this AI, the great thing about it is, if you understand what we're talking about with vibrational energy and positivity, if you start to look things up that are positive, it's going to come back to you. It's going to keep coming in because of the AI. I'm not talking about the universe. The universe works that way too. It's so funny.
Subsequently, the opposite happens as well, right?
Well, the same thing for negativity. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the exact same thing happens for negative,
Right.
is what you're saying.
Yes.
So if you want to go look up, I don't know, animal attacks or something. I mean, whatever that is out there. Sometimes I see trending stories. I see these crazy things that people are watching and they look at. The sad thing is, the news is very negative. That's one of the reasons why Karen and I never watch the news. I would highly recommend, do not watch the news. I don't care if you're a Fox person or a CNN. They're both sides of the fence. Whatever it is, it's 99% negativity. I still like to be informed. I'm sure you do as well. But whether it's stocks or business, you've got feeds coming in on your mail, so you get a good handle of it. I'll never forget when I tried to get rid of the newspaper when we were back in Cherry Hills, and I tried to cancel it like 15 times. They kept dropping them off. I had to finally call them and tell them you're littering, because that so many people are dropping newspapers, but. Newspapers and then the news. I mean, we have family members that run it in the background, and it can be very negative. So at the end of the day, you have complete control over your news feeds when you're using these devices like platforms like YouTube or anything like that. Because if you're going to search law of attraction, let's just say law of attraction or reality transurfing, and you're going to watch a video or two there, guess what? Tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to have those same videos coming at you. So it's either, you're either watching, the lion jumping out of the tree on top of the alligator in the Amazon, and you know, they fight to the death.
I won't be watching that.
Well, I mean,
video.
you know, I've seen someone showed me that. You know, if you look those kinds of things up, guess what? You're going to see the next, you know, animal attack tomorrow morning, the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
Or if you want to look at, you know, law of attraction and how all this works and how you attract more love and wealth into your life or whatever, you're going to see the same thing tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And, you know, I have recently been getting an email from, it's an email called Morning Smile. Check it out. I don't know their exact website, but I love it. It is news, but it is only good news. And it is news that will make you smile. You know, that was the one where I showed you the woman who had Alzheimer's and this young kid who had a love of music and was helping. And anyway, he brought her up on karaoke night at the senior citizen. And all of a sudden she remembered every single word to the song and she sang it with them, and it was so beautiful. And there's all sorts of stories that make you smile. It's happy news.
Right.
But guess what? You will never see that on the television. You're just not going to see the good news. You're going to see all of the negativity and the sensationalism, because unfortunately that's what they're presenting, that's what sells, and it's almost like an addiction. Like you said, you keep looking it up.
It's like, you know, so the epiphany here that we had today that we want to share with you guys, you know, we talk a lot about being real positive and putting that out to the universe because it comes back to you. So the external, the message coming back to you, the mirror effect, the boomerang effect, you know, call it what you want, you guys get it. But what's really interesting, and this is, you know, again, we intuitively knew this, you know, internally, as your cells are rebuilding every day, that vibration and that positivity is so key, right? Day in and day out, because the opposite is true too. If you've got problems and stress and, you know, you're going through a painful times, I mean, I've seen it, you know, where people have gone through a lot of stress in their life and even manifested, you know, things like tumors and things like that. It's crazy.
We lost a dear friend who was going through so much stress. You know, he manifested cancer, brain cancer, and he passed away. And the tragedy of the entire thing is that, you know, it was all for naught. He was being hounded and pestered, and for no reason. And it was such a sad thing to watch that happen.
Yeah, terrible. So I mean, you can make yourself sick or make yourself well. I mean, that's the key. That's the key.
Yeah. Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, guys, click around here and subscribe, and please hit the like button. And we'd love to hear your comments down below if you've got some other ideas around this or even your thoughts. Love to talk to you more.
And we'd love for you to subscribe. It's really helping us. As you know, we're writing a book, so the more subscribers we have and the more likes and the more comments all on YouTube really help us. And so you be supporting us. And if we can ask for that help, we're asking.
Yeah, Sugar Baby says hit the like button.
Hit the like button right there.